Okay, today I'm just going to look at how you can configure multiple cars in Predbat. This is a new feature we're just testing out at the moment. Um, so the first thing you need to do, if you've got an old config, the template won't be there, you need to set the number of cars that you have. So I go num cars and I'm going to say I'm going to have 2 cars. Now what it will mean is that some of these sensors will require multiple entries. So car charging energy doesn't change because this is a sensor from your actual car charger itself. So there's not this currently we don't support multiple of them. This is just being subtracted from your base load data. So it's separate from that. So in fact I probably should have put this num cars down here. Car charging planned is the thing that says whether your car is plugged in and ready to charge on whatever schedule. So currently I've got this set to this regular expression that's the default and it's picking up my wall box. So I'm going to change this to a list of items because I've got 2 cars now. So now here I'd need to add the sensor for my second car to say whether that's plugged in and ready to charge or not. So in this case I don't really have 2 cars, so I'm just going to hardwire this as connected. And connected is one of the responses that indicate the car is ready to charge. So I'm kind of faking up a second car and saying this is ready to charge, but you should set this to whatever sensor you have and make sure the responses match. The next thing is I haven't set the battery size and charge limit here because I'm using Intelligent, and Octopus Intelligent, when that's enabled in Predbat, automatically sets car 0 to whatever Intelligent is reporting. But if you've got a second car, you're going to have to set it. So you can't skip the first one. So you need to set both, but the first one will be overridden by Intelligent. So I'm going to say, okay, my second car, say, got a 50 kilowatt hour battery. You can also point this to a sensor if you had one. And then I'm going to go car charging limit. So this is the limit of my Tesla. So I'm going to set the limit to the second one. I'm going to set it to say 100%. You can point this to a sensor. And then SOC is the current charge level of the car. Again, that's pointing to my Tesla. I'm going to set the current charge level of the car to say 50%. So I've got 3 sensors here: battery size, limit, and SOC. And I've also got is the car going to charge tonight? And that's set to 2 cars, so hopefully that should do the trick. I'm going to save it and then we'll see what it does. So I've just called up AppDaemon log to see if this is working, and it says cars 2 charging from battery true. So charging from battery, if you set this to false, it will stop the car's charging from your home battery. Planned true false, that means my Tesla's not planned to charge tonight because Intelligent is not plugged in. True means the second car is planned to charge. If you remember, I set that on by default. The plan ready time is the same for both cars. The battery size, remember, I set to 50. The limit I set to 50. And well, I set it to 100%, which would be 50 kilowatt hours, sorry, and charging rates are the same. So now it says car 0 is using Octopus, whereas obviously car 1 isn't, and it says the current state of charge for the car is 72 for my Tesla, 25 kilowatt hours for the second fake car I've added. Okay, that seems to be working. And so just checking it's not run into any errors. It's run all the way to the end. Okay, good. Let's go back over to the GUI here. What I've done now is I've got my second car in a chart here. So this car battery prediction, if I go and edit the battery prediction YAML, what I've done is I've added car SOC1 and car best1. So the second car, because they're numbered from 0, is number 1. I've added this to the chart as well because originally it just had the first car. So if I look at that, you can see it doesn't have any history to the car's SOC because I've only just added it, obviously. But you can see that the predicted it's going to start charging at 11:30 at low rate, and it's going to charge all the way up to 100% and then stop. Obviously, when this is actually charging, you need that SOC sensor to work. So because I've not set it correctly, I've just hardwired it, it's going to constantly predict the car's charging in the entire period. But obviously, if you set it properly, that's going to work. Doesn't really have an impact on my plan because I'm going to be charging the home battery during this time anyway. But it will have an impact on the expected load data. So hopefully I can see that in the load chart somewhere. Let's have a look. So where is my best load here? Let's just turn off some of these so we can see it more clearly. So here's the load, 11:30 at night, big spike in the load as the car's charging, and then back to my normal household load. So I think that's all working, and we're done with that for now. The only other thing you can mention is car charging plan smart. If you have that turned on, it's not going to make any difference if you just got one low rate slot, but if you turn it on for something like agile, it's going to assume your car will charge on the cheapest slots first, even if they're not the earliest slots, and it will calculate the best plan for it. But obviously to actually use that plan, you've got to link the trigger of when your car charges to one of the slot sensors that it creates. So I probably don't have that on here initially, but let me just have a quick look. So here we go, I've added the car charging slot 1 to my dashboard here. So this slot will actually turn on when it's expecting car 1 to charge and off when it doesn't. So if you want to control the car charging timing through Predbat, then you've got to link this up to an automation that starts and stops your car charging. And you can see that it's planned between these periods of time. It's going to add this amount of kilowatt hours. That's the average cost. That's the total cost. That's it really. Hope that's helpful. Thanks.